I'm Rohan Karamandi.
And I'm Phil Hawthorne, and we're the hosts of the Home Assistant podcast.
We're guessing you're into technology. Home Assistant is the #1 open source contributor project on GitHub with a focus on privacy and local control.
Join us every other week as we break down the latest features on Home Assistant and talk to everyday users who are automating their lives with Home Assistant.
From feeling like you're living in Star Trek with lights turning on in rooms when you walk in, to automating flushing the toilet, Home Assistant can integrate with virtually anything, and we've interviewed everyday people like yourselves that have done some pretty crazy automations.
Listen to the Home Assistant podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or find us on YouTube, or visit homeassistant.fm.
So we put a lot of focus on understanding, on one hand, how software is built. Where are the individual contributor developers spending their time? What systems do they like? What causes friction and causes them to disengage from the processes that are needed? Getting into that mode of discovery, of continuously talking to customers and thinking, all right, what can we do different where we can break the mold of the security task that's coming out of left field and working with a stick? How can we make it into a carrot? How can we gamify it? How can we make it something that people will enjoy using while they do their work? I am Shai Horovitz, the CEO of JIT.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries.
Spent 6 months moonlighting.
There's nothing on the back end.
Who share what it takes to change an industry.
I don't exactly know what to do next.
Took many goes to get right.
Who built the teams that have their back.
A company is its people.
The teams help each other achieve more. Most proud of our team.
Keeping scalability top of mind.
All that infrastructure was
Yes, we've been fighting it as we grow.
Total waste of time.
The stories you don't read in the headlines.
It's not an easy thing to achieve, mind you.
Took it off the shelf and dusted it off and tried it again.
To ride the ups and downs of the startup life.
You need to really want it. Not just about technology.
All this and more on Code Story. I'm your host, Noah Labhart, and today how Shai Horovitz is building the easiest way to secure your app by empowering developers to deliver secure code faster. This episode is sponsored by SpeakEasy. Grow your API user adoption and improve engineering velocity with friction-free integration experiences. With SpeakEasy's platform, you can now automatically generate SDKs in 10 languages and Terraform providers in minutes. Visit speakeasy.com/codestory and generate your first SDK for free. This message is sponsored by QA Wolf. QA Wolf gets engineering teams to 80% automated end-to-end test coverage and helps them ship 5 times faster by reducing QA cycles from hours to minutes. With over 100 5-star reviews on G2 and customer testimonials from SalesLoft, Drata, and AutoTrader, you're in good hands. Join the Wolfpack at QAWolf.com. Shai Horovitz grew up on a farm in Israel, 1.5 hours north of Tel Aviv. He was drafted into the army in a unit that focused on technology, and in 2013 he moved to the States and joined a startup, and he loved it, eventually leading the team and building their business in Japan. Outside of tech, he loves to travel with his family and 3 kids. He's also a self-proclaimed foodie and enjoys sports, spending 11 years in Boston rooting on the Celtics. The team at Shai's current venture was attempting to shift left, the solving of security issues in production. Now they are entering into a new era in building the agentic cybersecurity team of the future. And 2 years ago, Shai joined to lead the charge. This is the creation story of JIT.
So JIT is a really cool company, if I can be objective. Founded about 3 years ago with the mission to go and enable developers to integrate security into the software development lifecycle in the easiest way possible. The founders came from the background of building technology, founding companies like CloudLock, and founding teams in companies like SentinelOne, CyberArk, and Dome9, and really a really good insight into what it takes to build secure applications. And I think the main pain that we were trying to solve until now was, how do you shift left? How do you get developers to build security as part of code quality and introduce cybersecurity controls into different parts of the software development lifecycle in order to solve the cybersecurity issues earlier before they make it to production, where it's cheaper, more effective, and a much more efficient flow of development. So I think that the interesting thing is where we're going, not where we started, because we are now entering a new phase in the company, introducing agentic AI into the platform, where we are going to help customers build the application security teams of the future that are going to be part human and part agentic AI, where we believe that we can drive productivity at least 10x, very similar to what you're seeing today in the development world. So I've been with the company about 2 years. It was formed in a venture studio called FXP that was founded by ex-founders of a company called CloudLock, super successful serial entrepreneurs that after they sold the last company to Cisco, started this venture studio. JIT was ideated in the venture studio. The founders, 5 of them, ran the company for the first 2 years. And then I basically joined to start commercializing the technology that they built and drive it into the market.
So then let's dive into what you would consider your MVP. There's the MVP of what was built originally. There was moving towards this agentic cybersecurity team of the future. And I'm curious about when you joined, what was that MVP that you were going to go build? Tell me about that and how long it took you to bring it to life and what you were using to do so.
So I joined when the MVP was there. The company spent about 2 years doing the exploration and the discovery to go and build a platform that developers will love. That MVP was basically a way to go and integrate security straight into the development lifecycle, into the IDE and into the PR experience, so developers can work where they're used to working without needing to context switch or go to different tools and different user experiences. And what we did is meet them where they are. We found a really cool way to take about 10 different scanners, 10 different controls, build them into a GitHub application, where in a couple of clicks, developers just continue and code and get security code review in real time. That's what we started with. That's what got us to the first couple of 100 customers that we have today. I remember the first couple of customers on the platform and their feedback, which really gave us confidence to lean in and push it forward. So that's where we got to until today. In the summer, we started hearing a little bit of a different voice from our customers that sent us on a strategy journey to go and reinvent the next version of JIT. And that's what really led to the launch that we're having right now.
So go backwards to that MVP version when you started. I'm curious about decisions and trade-offs you had to make in how you were going to approach that, right? In how you were going to lead the team forward. And I'm curious, those decisions are typically hard. How you cope with those decisions?
So I think one of the biggest decisions we needed to make was how do we align the product and the go-to-market strategy. When I joined, the vision of the company was to build a PLG, a product-led growth company, where basically it would almost be a self-serve. Developers would be the buyers, they would encounter the problem and the pain, and they would basically log on to JIT and start using the platform. That was the main assumption when I joined. When I took a look at the product and started speaking with customers and understanding the dynamics of the segment, I understood that we needed to change that, because at the end of the day, what we built is an enterprise level product that was a much better fit to be sold and marketed like a SaaS platform and not like a PLG in a PLG motion. So the first change that I made as a CEO was to divert from this PLG strategy and into selling in an enterprise sales motion. We still kept the self-serve until today. You can go onto our website and start working with the product. We have a free version for small teams. But the main go-to-market, that's like most cybersecurity solutions are sold, is top-down enterprise sales, as you would imagine. That was going against some of the concepts, some of the beliefs that the founding team had, and it required adjustments in the way that the product was built. I think the good thing is that it got us immediate friction with the market. We took the product into the hands of customers, started getting feedback, understood what people loved about it, understood what was missing, and it allowed us to iterate really quickly and drive more feature functionality into the product and into the market.
This message is sponsored by SnapTrade. Link in user brokerage accounts and build world-class investing experiences with SnapTrade's unified brokerage API. With over $12 billion in connected assets and over 300,000 connected accounts, Snaptrade's API quality and developer experience are second to none. Snaptrade is SOC 2 certified and uses industry-leading security practices. Developers can use the company's official client SDKs to build investing experiences in minutes without the limitations of traditional aggregators. Get started for free today by visiting snaptrade.com/codestory.
I'm so pumped about my new offshore dev partner. I'm saving a ton, and they even signed an NDA. Wait, is that our financial statements on the internet?
My dev partner has great communication. They can acknowledge an issue or email message super fast after they run it through Google Translate, of course.
I have a call set up with my partner right now. Hey guys, are you there? Wait, did you just ghost me?
Ever been in these situations? Yeah, me too. That is, until I found Tekla. Tekla is world-class, nearshore talent for technology teams who demand the highest standards. The platform gives you access to over 50,000 vetted Latin America technology experts, including developers, designers, and IT professionals, all fluent in English and all in your time zone. In 7 days or less, you can have your tech expert hired through Tekla's fast, efficient hiring process, which helps you find and onboard top candidates. Get senior-level talent at competitive rates, often half the cost of hiring in the U.S., but aligned with U.S. work culture and time zones, making teamwork easy and productive. Hire the best tech experts today with Tekla. Learn more at tekla.io. That's TECLA.io. This episode is sponsored by SpeakEasy. Whether you're growing the user adoption of your public API or streamlining internal development, SDKs can turn the chore of API integration into effortless implementation. Unburden your API users from guessing their way around your API while keeping your team focused on your product. Shorten the time to live integration and provide a delightful experience for your customers. With SpeakEasy's platform, you can now automatically generate up-to-date, robust, idiomatic SDKs in 10 languages and Terraform providers in just a matter of minutes. SDKs are feature-rich with type safety, auto retries, and pagination. Everything you need to give your API the developer experience it deserves. Deliver a premium API experience without the premium price tag. Visit speakeasy.com/codestory to get started and generate your first SDK for free. This episode is sponsored by Vanta. You're a startup founder. Finding product market fit is probably your number one priority. But to land bigger customers, you also need security compliance. And obtaining your SOC 2 or ISO 27001 certification can open those big doors. But they take time and energy pulling you away from building and shipping. And that's where Vanta comes in. Vanta is the all-in-one compliance solution helping startups like yours get audit ready and build a strong security foundation quickly and painlessly. How, you ask? Vanta automates the manual security tasks that slow you down, helping you streamline your audit. And the platform connects you with trusted experts to build your program, auditors to get you through audits quickly, and a marketplace for essentials like pen testing. So whether you're closing your first deal or gearing up for growth, Vanta makes compliance easy. Join over 8,000 companies, including many Y Combinator and Techstars startups who trust Vanta. For a limited time, get $1,000 off Vanta at vanta.com/codestory. That's VANTA.com/codestory. So then you've made those decisions. You're at that point where the decisions are working out. You're seeing that traction you want to see. How have you moved the product forward? And I think that kind of leads into some of the changes, the more recent changes that I'd love to hear you talk about. And I think to wrap in a box a little bit, what I'm looking for is, how did you go about building your roadmap? And how do you as a company go about deciding, okay, this is the next most important thing for us to build or to address?
It's always a balance between what we hear from the customers and what they want, and what is the vision that we believe will take them forward and progress them as fast as they can to the next level. The main thing that we are very focused on is understanding what are the workflows inside the team, where we built a product that needs to bring together two separate organizations in the firm. One is the engineering team, who basically needs to and gets measured on pushing out features, quick time to market, and a security team that needs to go and reduce risk, right? And defend the application, protect the application. And they get measured on completely different things. So what was very important to us is to build a product that can allow this shared responsibility, that allows, on one hand, the developers to go and reach their metrics without going to clean somebody else's room. And on the other hand, allow the security teams maximum visibility and coverage in order to be able to control the posture of the application, reduce risk, and report on it in a good way. So we put a lot of focus on understanding, on one hand, how software is built. Where are the individual contributor developers spending their time? What systems do they like? What causes friction and causes them to disengage from the processes that are needed? We understood that the team leaders are super important, pivotal characters in the ability to go and implement something in. So we generated their own portal where each team leader is able to go and manage their team and all of their resources and basically get ownership and visibility to the security of the code that they're building. So we put a lot of focus on the engineering team and understanding what will make them successful. Getting into that mode of discovery, of continuously talking to customers and thinking, all right, what can we do different where we can break the mold of the security task that's coming out of left field and working with a stick? How can we make it into a carrot? How can we gamify it? How can we make it something that people will enjoy using while they do their work? So we put a lot of focus over there.
So I'm curious about team. How do you go about building your team at JIT? And what do you look for in those people to indicate that they're the winning horses to join you?
I think that really goes back to where I grew up, if you will. High performance teams is where I grew up in the military for a long time. We start with the people, and I think that's really the most important thing. Before we look at experience and skills, I look at culture and what are these people bringing to the table and what got them to where they are. We look for people that are humble. We look for people that are able to work well with teams, but on the other hand, are extremely ambitious, really want to win, and are willing to do whatever it takes to push the team and to push the company forward. I love to look at profiles of people who have done that in their life before they join JIT and before they interview. I love athletes, I love dancers, I love artists, I love people who have a chip on their shoulder from the home that they come with. I love immigrants. I love people who have shown in their life patterns of dealing with setbacks, working really hard and doing the little things you need in order to win. Because when I see somebody who did that in their life, I'm sure that they will do it on the company. So the first thing we look for is that core and that resilience and that passion to go and overcome and build something magnificent, because that's what we're trying to do at JIT. Once we have that, then it really goes into the skills and the experience that we need. And of course, those are extremely important. I like skills and potential more than experience, especially in a startup, because this is very hard. And you really need people that are willing to go and work hard, get through highs, but also through the lows, and just continue forward as we go.
This message is sponsored by QA Wolf. If slow QA processes bottleneck your software engineering team and you're releasing slower because of it, you need a solution. You need QA Wolf. QA Wolf gets engineering teams to 80% automated end-to-end test coverage and helps them ship 5 times faster by reducing QA cycles from hours to minutes. With over 100 5-star reviews on G2 and customer testimonials from SalesLoft, Drata, AutoTrader, and many more, you're in good hands. Ready to ship faster with fewer bugs? Join the Wolf Pack at QAWolf.com to see if they can help you squash the QA bottleneck. This message is sponsored by SnapTrade. Link in user brokerage accounts and build world-class investing experiences with SnapTrade's unified brokerage API. With over $12 billion in connected assets and over 300,000 connected accounts, SnapTrade's API quality and developer experience are second to none. SnapTrade is SOC 2 certified and uses industry-leading security practices. Developers can use the company's official client SDKs to build investing experiences in minutes without the limitations of traditional aggregators. Get started for free today by visiting snaptrade.com/codestory. I'm curious if there has been interesting areas where you've had to fight scalability, right? Scalability can be lots of things. It could be company, technology, and I think it applies both here, but I'm curious if there's interesting stories there where you've really had to fight it.
We're always fighting scalability because we're always under-resourced and we always hire after the curve. I think that the fact that you're under-resourced just drives better decisions. It helps you focus. It helps you understand where do you want to progress and how do you manage your trade-offs. So we're constantly dealing with scaling issues. I think there's always a balance between building systems and processes and just trying to tackle the very short term and the near term. Some areas we decided to go and build, especially around customer support, understanding usability of the product, understanding if people are getting value. We put a lot of focus on building the systems and processes to go and understand that well. And I believe that's what's helping us understand our customers in a really good way. On the other hand, there are things that we know that by the time we build a process, we're going to grow out of it anyway. So we just continue and drive and go for it. And we try to keep the company as small as I can. I know it's becoming popular. For a very long time, it wasn't popular to have small teams. Everybody was asking founders the vanity metric. How many people do you have on your company? How many people do you have on your team? We're trying to keep the company as small as we can. So communication is close and we're able to move as fast as we can without generating too many approval levels and too much friction in the system.
So I'm curious, as you step out on the balcony and you look across all that you've built at JIT, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud that we succeeded. I've done this for the second time. For the first time, we grew the company to, 1,500 employees and close to $200 million of ACV over 8 years. We built a market leader at Cybereason, and I'm doing it again here. And the beginning is very hard. For those of you that you're in the beginning of the journey, you're doing something special. And most people don't succeed. So I'm happy that we're able to really identify a problem that customers have and go and build a product that people love. And the first paying customer was a huge success. And then we got to 10 and then to 100. And for me, that's always the thing that I'm most proud of, that we were able to find a place in the world that we can go and make a difference in. And we have big ambitions and a big vision looking forward. But I always go back to the fundamentals. Are we solving a problem? And are we doing it in a way that people can appreciate and love? Then we're doing something good in the world. So that's what makes me most proud.
Let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
We make a lot of mistakes. And I think a lot of it is just based on our decisions to decide often and not always to be right. So we've definitely made all types of decisions that I would consider a mistake looking back around the product side. I think the biggest mistake we probably made early on was how we're going to go and support enterprise customers. It took us time to understand that enterprise customers need a different type of process and require us to stay very close to them. Now, of course, it sounds obvious to anybody looking at it from the outside in, but when you're in the trenches and you have so many competing priorities and you think you already won the deal and now you're going on to the next one, but it took us time to understand, hold on a second, before we move on to the next one, let's make sure that customer of ours is extremely happy and using the product and getting value. And we're really internalizing the feedback that we're getting. Of course, we ended up catching it and realigning the company, both on the resources side and also on the mindset side. But I think that was a place where, we missed and we fixed it and recovered in a pretty good way.
This will be super exciting. Tell me what the future looks like for JIT, the product, the platform, and for your team.
Look, I'm super excited about where we're going. I think that anybody that's working in technology over the past, whatever it is, 2 years, 18 months, since this entire Gen AI revolution started, is just waking up in the morning and full of energy of the possibilities and the opportunities of where the world can go from here. We started hearing a different voice from customers in the summer, where we were used to having conversations around shifting left and how can we get developers to get more involved. And the application security teams were mainly focused on that. Help us get the developers to adopt security and to get it in there. And from the summer, we started hearing another voice. And that voice was, look, we're swamped in a way that we've never been swamped. The engineering teams are adopting all types of co-pilots and vibe coding platforms and are really just flying with the amount of code that they're generating. And we just don't think that we can compete. We have to do something different in the way we work and in the way we structure our teams and the tools we use in order to go and support the amount of code that's getting generated. That sent us on a strategy journey to go and reimagine the product. And what we got to is basically the conclusion that we need to broaden the scope of the problem that we're dealing with and push it. We are going to build and reimagine together with our customers what application security teams and security teams in general need to look like in the next era and how they can go and leverage Gen AI and agentic AI in order to push their productivity. What we found is that the technology today enables people to go and do three things in a really unique way. One, the technology can go and take full workflows that are done on an ongoing basis in a regular cadence in each team and agentify them. When I say agentify, I mean leveraging Gen AI agents that you can go and train and give them access to tools and to data, and they can actually go and replicate full work streams and drive not only the process, but also the bottom line activity that needs to go and get done. The second thing that we've seen, the agentic AI can enable any user, and we'll talk about Cursor in a second because I think that's a great example from the engineering side, but the agentic AI together with MCPs can allow application security practitioners to fly. What we can do is give them access to any types of data and any types of tools that can be in the tip of their fingers. So once they start working on a workflow, whether it's an investigation or a triage or running a report or whatever it is, we can basically give them access to any type of tool that they're used to using through JIT without them needing to go and dive into a different UI, go and ask a different team for more data, or ask a different employee that sits in a different time zone to go and help them with it. The agentic technology can really help drive that productivity into a different place, and we can give some examples moving forward. And I think the third thing that we don't understand yet, what else can we do? And that's where we need the customers to go and reimagine things that all of a sudden, this technology that's able to go and analyze huge amounts of data and data of different types and drive conclusions and decisions and activities. What else can customers do that we can't imagine yet? And that's what gets me extremely excited. So if I summarize everything together, we are going to have every practitioner that works with our product to have an army, if you will, of agents that can continuously go and drive both the cadence and also drive ad hoc tasks that the practitioners are doing on a day-to-day basis. And we believe that we can drive their productivity at least 10x and really make them fly in the way they work.
Okay, Shai, let's jump into what inspires you. Tell me about, what influences the way that you work. Give me a person or many persons or something you look up to and why.
There's a few different people that inspire me and open the way I think about things, and they come from different areas. In the company, we have a few really bright minds that look at technology and look at the product and are able to drive it. The co-founders of the company, whether it's David and Aviram, the co-founder, David's the CTO, and Aviram runs a lot of the security research, and Gil and Ron and Tzachi, who come from FXP, just really bright product minds that continuously go back to the pain, go back to the customer, and are just so averse in the cutting edge technology that's out there. They are the ones that pushed us to go and really look at agentic AI and how can we go and leverage it. They're the ones that continuously pushed us to go the extra mile and not just look at the obvious, but how can we really reimagine the solutions to the problems that we're solving. So I have a lot of admiration, a lot of inspiration that I get from the founding team and from some of the folks on our team, on the product team and the engineering team. You guys know who you are because I spend a ton of time with you, but you really inspire me to go and reimagine things in a different way. On the personal side, there's athletes that I really admire. I think that professional sports is all about dedication and continuously improving what you're doing and respecting the passion that you have to go and be great. I think Tom Brady is the best ever at that. And I think that I listen to him a lot. I look up to him. I saw him go through his career in a lot of different areas. And I think that there's something very special in the way he handles himself. And The last source of inspiration was obviously my family. The way that we moved from Israel to Boston. I spent 3 years working in Japan with young kids. We moved back to Israel after 11 years. All of these transitions, these kids and my wife just showed a lot of resilience and just looking at the positive parts of every one of these transitions and learning and finding ways to communicate and learn new cultures and be part of new communities. I love being around them, and I get inspiration from the way they go about these types of changes.
Last question. So you get on a plane and you're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world and can't wait to show it off to you right there on the plane. What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit?
My advice is go for it. There'll be people around you all the time that explain to you why this isn't a good idea, or why somebody already did it, or why somebody has better insight to the problem than you do. And I believe that entrepreneurship and innovation is first and foremost about the drive and the passion and the heart that you have in order to go and solve a specific problem. I think that carries much more weight than any analysis and any market analysis that you're going to do. At the end of the day, the people who win are the people who didn't give up. They just kept going at it and tried harder and found ways to win. And if you believe that this is your calling and this is your passion, then you should go for it. The idea may change, the team may change, maybe the problem changes a little bit along the way, but you'll be doing something that you love and you'll be doing something that you're passionate about. And in my opinion, your heart will be full both on the sunny days and on the rainy days. So my advice is go for it.
I couldn't agree more with that. That's fantastic advice. Well, Shai, thank you for being on the show today, and thank you for telling the creation story of JIT.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Rock on.
And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.
Are you looking for legit ways to make extra money? Our friends at the Side Hustle Show have put together this cool free 60-second quiz to help you do just that. All you got to do is go to hustle.show. You can do it right from your phone, answer a few short multiple choice questions, and it'll recommend a few episodes of the hit Side Hustle Show podcast to start with. You can add your personalized Side Hustle Show playlist to your device, learn what works, and start making more money today. Again, that's at hustle.show, or follow the award-winning Side Hustle Show in your favorite podcast app.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.